This is the Kindy Rockstars Podcast, Season 4. Bringing you incredibly talented singers, artists, creators, and producers in the genre of children's music. I'm your host, Patrick Adams. Each episode will feature songs, albums, videos, or live performances, along with great stories from the artists themselves. Kindy Rockstars Season 4 is proud to be supported and sponsored by Waltmania Public Relations, serving the family entertainment community for more than 20 years. And now, on with the show. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Kindy Rockstars. I am very happy to have with me today my guest, Jean Young. Jean, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
All right. Well, let's learn about you, Jean. Tell us how you got into making music for children.
Well, I grew up in Iowa in a family of people who made music together all the time. My parents met singing in their college choir. And so we all took piano lessons and we all sang in choir. And when I went to college, I majored in music and ended up with a degree in education as well as music. And my first job was a K-3 school. And I liked it pretty well. So I stayed in the field for many, many years, but just changed the age group a little bit here and there. And when I moved to New York City, I found myself working in a school that was mostly UN children. And so English was not their first language. And I found that the kids' songs I'd been teaching up to that point were they had too many words. So at that point, I started making very simple songs for children that just basically asked them about their families and what they like to eat and what they like to wear and where they like to go, so that it was one simple little song that we would just fit words into that all came from the children.
Very good. So I know one of the things we're going to talk about today is an album that you put out called Adirondack Adventures. So when did you make that album?
So that I made about 12 years ago, and but that was just the album. The songs were created maybe for the 20 years before that, when my children were small. I have two children, and we used to take them camping to the Adirondacks every summer, and they would put their little backpacks on their back with their sleeping bags and a couple of clothes changes in them, and we would actually backpack out into the wilderness, and they loved it. Camping in a campground was just not for them. And so we had all these wonderful experiences. We pack up all the food before the trip, and I sing a song about that, and then we'd see all these creatures in the woods, and that's in all the songs too. And then we'd go canoeing and we'd climb mountains. So there are songs about each of those things, and we'd see the birds. So there are songs about the great blue heron and the cedar waxwing, and some of those things happened before my children were born, when my husband and I camped by ourselves. But then we saw beavers swimming, and just all these wonderful experiences that I wanted to bring to the children that I teach in New York City, because they don't know about these woodland creatures, very many of them. And so that's how it came about. That, and when my daughter was in chamber music camp in Vermont, they had a great shop in town that had wonderful puppets. And I bought a bat puppet. And that actually inspired the first of the Adirondack songs, which was about bats. And then I found a loon puppet, and then I had to make a loon song, and it kind of went on from there.
Very good. So the experience with the UN children, did they have any exposure to like those kind of songs, do you think, where they came from?
I have no idea. I mean, we're talking 2 and 3 and 4 year olds.
Oh, gotcha.
So these are tiny children that are just learning to talk, but the language in their home is not English. I remember one little boy who talked about the hippopotamus. He was from a French-speaking African family. That might be the way they say it.
That actually sounds kind of cute.
It does. I mean, they were just delightful children, but they could sing the songs that I taught them because they were so simple.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's talk about that album, Adirondack Adventures. So you said you had been going to the Adirondacks for many, many years, and you were kind of inspired by the songs there. So how did you finally, for so many years, it sounds like, decide to pull all of it together and make an album?
Well, that I owe thanks to my friend Amy Conley, who heard some of the songs because at the time we were both music together directors. And one of the things we did at our annual directors meeting was share songs. And so I shared on 3 subsequent years, I shared 3 of the songs. And Amy came up to me and said, I really like your songs, Jean, and it's time for me to make a new album. Can I use your songs? And I said, well, Amy, why don't we do it together? And because I would really like to, I have an idea about the album, but I don't have the courage to do it on my own. And so she had the connections. She knew somebody with a good studio. And then I had a little children's choir. So we were able to add those voices in as well. So what I did is I took my 12 songs and I arranged them to tell a story about a family who packs up for the trip, drives to get there, takes a walk, sees the animals in the woods, takes a canoe ride, sees the birds, sets up their tent, sees the bats, sleeps in the tent. First there's a lullaby. My friend Lee Stern, another children's music person, said, Jean, you have to have a lullaby. So I wrote a lullaby, and then we sleep in the tent and we hear the loons. And in the morning we wake up early so we can see the beaver. And then we climb a mountain. And when we're tired, we see the cedar waxwings putting on their show. And then the mosquitoes start to bite us. And that's the whole, so it tells a story and my little children from my children's choir helped with there's a little bit of narration between each song. So Amy and we set that down, but then we plugged the kids' voices in to replace our voices.
Very good. All right. Well, we're going to feature 2 songs from that album. And then as a special treat, we have 3 additional songs from Jean, which are currently on her YouTube channel, but we're going to feature the audio of those songs here. So let's first talk about the 2 songs from Adirondack Adventures. The first one is called In a Canoe. So tell us about this one.
So my In a Canoe song, I really love canoeing, and I just wanted to get across how special canoeing is, but how you also have to be really careful. So the opening verse tells about make sure you get your life jacket and your paddles, and then you take off, and you have to paddle. You can't be a slacker. Even if you're in the back, you can't be a slacker. And you have to paddle on both sides, because otherwise you'll turn in circles. But if you do all these things, then you can explore the lake, and you can be quiet and hear the birds. But you have to communicate with each other, or else if the person in front doesn't tell the person in back what's coming up, you'll hit the rocks. So that's how it ends.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and play it. Here it is, In a Canoe by Jean Young.
Who's ready for a canoe ride?
I am. I got my paddle, got my life jacket.
Great. Get in carefully.
I know.
When you're in a canoe, you'd better sit still. If you don't sit still, you might tip over.
When you're in a canoe, don't stand up suddenly. If you stand suddenly,
You're gonna spill. But how do I get out?
When you're in a canoe, you've got to paddle straight. If you don't paddle straight, you might go round and round.
When you're in a canoe, can't keep taking a break. If you keep taking a break, you'll get home late.
If I sit in the back, no one will notice.
When you're in a canoe, you can explore the lake. When you explore the lake,
You don't know what you'll find.
Maybe beavers and bogs, maybe bugs and frogs. And if you find a frog,
Don't feed him cake.
What does a frog eat?
When you're in a canoe, sometimes you drift along. You slowly drift along, and if you whisper your words,
when you're in a canoe, you might see turtles and birds. And if you listen, you'll hear their song.
when you're in a canoe, it's good to navigate with a compass or map so you won't get lost.
When you're in a canoe, watch out for sticks and rocks. And if a rock is close, communicate.
Rock on the right, look out!
And that was In a Canoe. All right, let's talk about the second song. And you mentioned hearing the loons, and the song is called Loon Serenade. So tell us a little bit more about the loons.
This is a favorite song of mine, and really it became a favorite song of the 3 and 4 year olds that I taught it to. For many years, the children would say, I love the loons. They were just passionate about them. I found a picture book whose pictures more or less paralleled the verses of my song, so I could show them this beautifully illustrated picture book about the loons. So loons are a very musical bird. They have a song that has a certain interval, and in my melody, I try to mimic the interval that the loons are singing. But then they also have a laugh that's woo, kind of like that. You've heard the term crazy as a loon, and that's what the laugh sounds like. And so that's in the song too. And I teach the children how to do that more or less. And that's part of the chorus of the song. So the song tells about the loons that come and they mate on the lake in this early spring. Did you know that loons spend the whole winter on the open ocean? They do, because the open ocean doesn't freeze. So, and then after they make their nests and the babies hatch, babies are called loonlings. Isn't that cute?
Cute name.
And there's a picture of the baby loonlings getting a ride on their mommy or daddy's back. And that is just the most beautiful picture. And then as they grow older, they get their characteristic black with the white spots and black, and a characteristic red eyes and a black and white necklace. They're just a beautiful bird, and they're a diving bird. So they're very heavy, which makes it very hard for them to take off when they're flying. So they have to get very strong before they can even attempt that. And then at the end of the season, they're grown up and they fly out to the ocean.
Well, I think I just learned 10 different things about loons that I never knew before.
And I hope when you hear this song, you'll hear how beautiful the melody is. I want to mention there is a field recording of loons, and I used that field recording, and I played it while my children's choir sang my loon song, and it turns out just right. If you use a little bit of it for the intro, then there's a little bit left at the end. So the loons are actually singing while we're singing about them, and because it was a Unitarian church, I could use this as a performance piece, and it was just magical.
Right. Well, let's check it out. Here it is, Loon Serenade by Gene Young.
What's that noise? It sounds spooky.
Oh, we're Froggy, the loons are singing tonight. The loon on the lake sings a tune to his mate. 'Neath the moon, very late, is the loon serenade on the lake.
Ooh, that's his mate. Ooh, cross the lake. Ooh, makes a date with that loon as he swims on the lake.
Ooh, ooh. Hear them whistle and laugh back and forth.
Ooh,
It's the Loon Serenade of the North.
The loons make a nest where their eggs safely rest. Very soon they'll be blessed. Baby loons will emerge from the nest.
Ooh, loonlings float. Ooh, like a boat. Ooh, in downy coats. Loonlings float like the boats on a moat. Hear the whistle and laugh back and forth. It's the Loon Serenade of the North.
Loons can swim and float through the night, and in day dive deep out of sight. In their feathered coats, black and white, flap their wings, paddle feet, and take flight.
Ooh, watch them fly. Ooh, cross the sky. Ooh, way up high. But we hope they'll be back by and by. Hear them whistle and laugh back and forth. It's the Loon Serenade of the North.
That was Loon Serenade. All right, Gene, we're going to talk about some videos now that you have up on your YouTube channel. These are, very nice little performances by you, and wanted to talk to you a little bit about the songs. You're going to hear the audio here on the podcast, but please go to Gene's YouTube channel and check out these videos of her performing these songs. But the first song we're going to talk about is called My Family. So tell us a little bit about this one.
So My Family goes back to those early days when I was teaching the children who didn't speak the language. Just after that, I had started my own family, and I had a baby, and I made a song about her, about how good she was to me. I was good to her too, of course. So then I would sing this song to the children and then ask them about their families, and we would sing about the people in their families, or maybe the dog or the cat in their families, and about something that that person in their family liked to do with them. So it's a way of asking the children about the people they love. And I redid the song a little bit a few years ago because there were so many non-traditional families out there, including my own neighbors. So I added the idea that some families have two mommies and some families have two daddies. And although not everybody has a sister or a brother, they might have a cousin or they might have a neighbor, and that it's always good to help the grown-ups with the babies.
Very good. All right. Let's check it out. Here it is, My Family by Gene Young. Enjoy.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming along with me today to sing another song about you. And our song today is about families. I wrote it a long time ago when I had a new baby to snuggle with. So can you pretend you have a baby to snuggle with while you sing along with me? I have a baby in my family. I love the baby in my family. I have a baby in my family. And she likes to snuggle with me. Or he likes to snuggle with me. Now maybe you have a mommy in your family who likes to snuggle with you. I bet you do. But she might also like to read stories. Can you turn some pretend pages and sing about reading stories? I have a mommy in my family. I love the mommy in my family. I have a mommy in my family. And she likes to read stories with me. Turn the page. She likes to read stories with me. Some kids even have two mommies. They get to read lots of stories. Or you might have a daddy who likes to read stories but also likes to flip pancakes. Can you flip some pancakes with your dad? Here we go. I have a daddy in my family. I love the daddy in my family. I have a daddy in my family. And he likes to flip pancakes with me. Yum, yum. He likes to flip pancakes with me. And some kids even have two daddies. They like to flip a lot of pancakes, but they might also like to go on bike rides. Should we go on a bike ride? But let's go with our sister. Can you ride your bike while you're singing about your sister? I have a sister in my family. I love the sister in my family. I have a sister in my family. And she likes to ride bikes with me. Yoo-hoo! She likes to ride bikes with me. Now you might not have a sister, or you might have more than one sister, but maybe you have a brother who likes to ride bikes, but also likes to climb the monkey bars. Can we climb the monkey bars with our brother? I have a brother in my family. I love the brother in my family. I have a brother in my family. And he climbs the monkey bars with me. Ooh, he climbs the monkey bars with me. That's fun. Now, I'll bet you might have a dog in your family who likes to not climb the monkey bars, but go on a walk. Can you go on a walk with your dog? Let's see. I have a doggy in my family. I love the doggy in my family. I have a doggy in my family. And she goes on walks with me. Or he goes on walks with me. Now you might not have a dog, but you might have a cat. The cats don't usually go on walks, but they like to snuggle in your lap. So let's sing about a kitty cat. I have a kitty cat in my family. I love the kitty cat in my family. I have a kitty cat in my family. And she likes to snuggle with me. Meow, she likes to snuggle with me. So many wonderful people and animals in our family. I hope you'll enjoy singing this song with them. And be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.
And that was My Family. All right, the next song we're going to talk about from your YouTube channel is called Walking with My Mommy. Tell us a little bit about this one.
So as I said, I wrote lots and lots of very simple songs, many of which are on my YouTube channel. But during the pandemic, I wasn't really teaching anymore, but I was doing a lot of walking, and I kept making up songs in my head reflective of what I saw in the little community where I live. There were other people out walking too, and I just noticed things about them because, you know, we didn't see that many people. We didn't talk to that many people, but I was just watching, and a verse started to form in my head about a little girl who was walking with her mommy and just seemed to be so trusting of her mommy and talking to her about important things. And then another day I saw a daddy walking a little boy, but the little boy was standing in a puddle and the daddy was kind of standing at a distance. So that was another verse. And then I saw lots of people walking their dogs. And two little girls walking together, or two little boys walking together. And then my grandchildren came to visit, and we were walking to the park. So there are verses about all of those combinations. And then there's each verse has a little chorus part that follows it. And because I like partner songs, I wrote the song so that the two parts can be sung at the same time. And I'm not doing that on my YouTube channel, but that's to come. I'll make another recording where I can sing the two parts at the same time.
Very good. All right. Well, let's check it out. Here it is, Walking with My Mommy by Gene Young.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for coming along with me today to sing another song. Today, our song is about walking. I did a lot of walking over the past few months, and as I walked, I would see other people who were walking, and one day I saw a little girl and her mommy walking along, talking and holding hands, and it inspired this song. I'm walking with my mommy, we're walking hand in hand. I'm talking with my mommy, she helps me understand the things that I am learning. So many things are new, my little wheels are turning, deciding what to do. But when we're walking along, and when you're listening to me, my head stops spinning just a little bit. I take a deep breath, so glad you're here with me. Then another day I saw a little boy walking with his daddy, but the moment they weren't holding hands, because I'm walking with my daddy. Sometimes he holds my hand, but today the rain is falling and the puddles are so grand. My boots are great for splashing, poor daddy, he has none. He watches from a distance, he knows I'm having fun. So when we're walking along, or when you're waiting for me, you're there to help me if I need a bit. My nose is dripping wet, so glad you're here with me. And another day I saw two little girls skipping along, holding hands. I'm walking with my best friend, or skipping, holding hands. I'm talking with my best friend, she always understands the things that have me wondering. They have her wondering too. We talk them out together and then wonder something new. And when we're walking along and sharing what's deep inside, we sail around the world on a carpet ride. I whisper in your ear, so glad you're by my side. And I saw lots of people walking with their dogs. I'm walking with my doggy, his leash is in my hand. I'm talking with my doggy, I know he understands the things that I am thinking as I try to find the words. He looks at me, not blinking, then he runs to chase the birds. And when we're walking along, we have a bounce in our stride. There's always something to look forward to. I'm panting to keep up, to stay here by your side. Sometimes my granddaughters come to visit, and then we go walking together, and we might sing it like this. I'm walking with my grandma, and as we walk we sing. We're meeting Grandpa at the park, he'll push me on the swing. And Grandma's brought a towel to dry the rain from off the slide. A little rain won't keep us home, we like to be outside. And as we're walking along, you have a snack for you and me. We're always hungry, more than a little bit. I take a big bite, so glad you're here with me. So I sang that to my granddaughter, and I said, so that's the last verse, all done. And she said, Grandma, you don't have the verse about the neighbor. And I said, well, Autumn, you'll have to tell me about that one. So she did, and this is what we ended up with. I'm walking with my neighbor, we're walking to the pond. We balance on a fallen log and wave a magic wand. We hunt for hidden treasure in the woods along the path. A chirping bird, a croaking toad, a bug that takes a bath. And when we're walking along, or when I hide behind a tree, you're there to find me. If I peek a bit, I take a quiet breath. So glad you're here with me. So glad you're here. And I'm glad you're here with me today, singing songs, and I hope you'll enjoy this song as you go walking along with your friends and your family, or even by yourself. So have a wonderful week. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.
And that was Walking with My Mommy. All right, last song we're going to feature is called A Week with Grandpa and Grandma. So talk about this one.
So as anybody who is a grandparent knows, you get very involved in the lives of your grandchildren. And one thing that we did is we were able to help my daughter out by having our grandchildren to stay with us for a week during the summer, and then another week at the end of the summer. And I was very busy planning lots and lots of activities to keep the girls busy. They were 4 and 6 at the time, I think. And I ended up writing a song about it as well. And it's a very busy song because we were very busy, but it's a lot of fun. And of course, I tried to keep the girls so busy that they would not miss their mommy and daddy, but of course they missed their mommy and daddy anyway. So at the end, I changed the melody to sing about the fact that we really do miss mommy and daddy, but we still love grandpa and grandma too. So again, there's a counter melody there that fits in with the melody of the rest of the song. If you sang them at the same time, they would make harmony. So I like to do that with my songs.
All right. Well, and that's a future YouTube video that you can make as well.
Right. I mean, it's
All right.
up there, but it doesn't have the 2 parts
Yep.
at the same time.
All right. Well, let's check it out. Here it is, A Week with Grandpa and Grandma by Gene Young.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming along with me to sing another song. We are expecting a visit from our granddaughters later this month, and maybe they will be singing this song. We're off for a week with Grandpa and Grandma. We're off for a week full of fun, fun, fun. We'll skip to the playground. We'll swing on the swings. We'll slide on the slide and we'll run, run, run. We'll slide on the slide and we'll run. And while we are there with Grandpa and Grandma, we know there'll be so many things to do. We'll freeze fruity ice pops to lick when it's hot, and bake Grandma's friendship bread too. Yum! Bake Grandma's friendship bread too. We're off for a week with Grandpa and Grandma. We'll ride our bikes with friends from last year. We'll mix magic potions. Now Alakazam, you are a toad, my dear. Oh dear, you are a toad, my dear. And if it rains hard, maybe we'll stay inside. We'll put on a puppet show, play hide and seek, and then in plain sight, we'll hide the thimble. So close your eyes and don't peek, don't peek. Close your eyes and don't peek. We're off for a week with Grandpa and Grandma. We'll sing and we'll dance, we'll twirl and spin. We'll follow the brook and float little sticks and try our best not to fall in. Try our best not to fall in. But when we have too many ants in our pants, we'll hike on a trail in the woods so deep. We'll spy wild turkeys and ducks and deer and dream about them when we sleep.
sweet. Dream about them when we sleep. We're off for a week with Grandpa and Grandma, and we won't miss Mommy and Daddy at all. We'll paint them some pictures, collage them a card, and pretend to be sad when they call. Boo-hoo! Pretend to be sad when they call. Well, maybe we'll miss them a wee tiny bit, and maybe we'll think of them every day. And we'll be so happy to see them again. We'll give them a big hug and shout, hooray! We'll give them a big hug and say, Mommy, Daddy, we love you. Mommy, Daddy, you love us too. Yes, you do. Grandma, Grandpa, we love you too. Grandma, Grandpa, you love us too. Yes, you do. We had a great week with Grandpa and Grandma. We played starlight, moonlight. We laughed like a loon. Whoa! Now, Grandpa and Grandma, please don't look so sad, because you know that we'll be back soon. Grandma, we promise that we'll be back soon. Grandpa, so don't cry, 'cause we'll be back soon. And I do hope they will come back soon. Thanks for singing.
All right, that was A Week with Grandpa and Grandma, and that wraps up our song features. All right, Jean, let everyone know where they can stream, download, or purchase Adirondack Adventures, how they can find your YouTube channel, and anything else you'd like people to know.
If you just type in Adirondack Adventure, singular, and my name, Jean Young, or Amy Conley, who's my friend who's doing it with me, it should come up, and it's on Amazon, of course, but it's also on other places. The hardcover album now is very expensive, but the download is about $10 for the whole 12 songs. And you just Google Adirondack Adventure, singular, and you'll see all the places where it's available.
All right, and where can people find your YouTube channel?
And the YouTube channel, again, you just go to YouTube, and if you type my name, Jean Young, and then just imagine a song about you, that's the title song of the YouTube channel, and it will come up, and we hope you'll subscribe. And then you can see all the other songs on the YouTube channel. Now, many of them are about nature, because nature is a real love of mine. So you see, I made a song about the wildflowers that you find in the spring in the woods, and each of the flowers has a little description. Actually, that's not there yet. Wait a week or so.
By the time this show comes out, it should be there.
Okay. And I've made a song about the bugs and the birds that depend on native trees. And it's a really cute little chorus that my granddaughter has memorized. It goes, munch, munch, cheep, cheep. We bugs and birds need native trees. Munch, munch, cheep, cheep. I'm a native tree. Plant me. So, and then there's a verse about the bugs, one about the birds, and one about the trees. And then another interest of mine is baking and cooking. And I am half Norwegian. So I've just written a big song called Norwegian Christmas Baking. And you'll learn a lot of Norwegian words if you learn that song.
Very cool. Well, Jean, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an honor having you on. And we look forward to more of your videos on YouTube. And everybody, please go check out her channel and check out her album, Adirondack Adventure.
Thank you so much, Patrick, for helping me spread my music, because I do enjoy writing it, and I enjoy even more having people sing it.
Love it. All right, Jean, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.